Americans spend $16 billion on milk every year. Most people buy it without a second thought. But some cartons hide factory farm operations behind organic labels, false advertising, and even links to major contamination outbreaks. Some of these brands may be in your fridge right now. Today, we're exposing 10 milk brands to avoid and revealing 8 that are actually worth buying. But before going onward, hit subscribe and turn on notifications right now. Every other day, we go brand by brand, label by label, and tell you exactly what you're actually putting in your body. Stay until number 5. It's the brand that surprises almost everyone. Number 10. Horizon Organic. Horizon Organic is the largest organic dairy brand in the United States, owned until 2024 by Danone. It's the bottle pediatricians point at. The carton parents reach for when they want to do right by their kids. The Cornucopia Institute, an organic watchdog that formally rated over 160 dairy brands, gave Horizon a 0 rating. 0. Cornucopia's investigators found Horizon sources from industrial-scale operations in the desert Southwest, milking tens of thousands of cows in conditions where USDA organics required 30% pasture intake is physically impossible to meet. That's the pasture meadow label. That's the reality behind it. Then the recall. In January 2025, Horizon recalled almost 20,000 cases of its organic plain whole milk due to premature spoilage. A Class 2 FDA recall distributed across Arizona, California, and Nevada. You're paying $7 to $8 for a half gallon. You're getting the nutritional equivalent of conventional milk at the price of real organic, with a recall on top. The green fields on the carton are a design choice, not a farming one. Number 9. Aurora Organic Dairy. You've probably never bought Aurora by name. But if you picked up a store-brand organic milk at Costco, Safeway, or Target, Aurora may have been inside that carton. It is the largest private label organic milk supplier in the United States. The invisible engine behind many of the organic seals you've been trusting at the store level. Federal investigators formally found Aurora in willful violation of 14 tenets of federal organic law. 14. After investigative reporting and Cornucopia Institute field work produced photographic evidence that Aurora's cows were receiving no meaningful pasture access despite USDA organic certification. Aurora retained its certification after promising compliance. Promises that critics, including the Center for Food Safety, argue were never independently verified at scale. The mechanism. USDA organic certification is supposed to guarantee not just no synthetic inputs, but real, meaningful pasture access and animal welfare. When those standards are gamed at industrial scale, you pay an organic premium for a product that doesn't deliver it. Taste, flat, thin, and identical to commodity conventional milk in any blind pour. Because functionally, that's what it is. At $6 to $8 per gallon with an organic markup, you're paying more to feel better about a carton that carries more questions than answers. The next brand markets itself to people with food sensitivities as the safe option, then gets recalled in 27 states. Number 8. Lactaid. Lactaid is built on a genuinely useful medical premise. Enzyme-treated milk for the roughly 36% of Americans who can't digest lactose. According to Circana data, Lactaid's U.S. multi-outlet sales exceeded 108 million gallons for the 52-week period ending July 2023. People with lactose intolerance depend on it with a medical kind of loyalty. And in September 2024, that trust got a recall attached to it. Lactaid was recalled in 27 states by Massachusetts-based HP Hood LLC after the product was found to potentially contain trace amounts of almonds, an allergen not listed anywhere on the label. The FDA flagged it as a potential serious or life-threatening risk. The issue was discovered during routine maintenance programs. The mechanism. Almond allergens can trigger anaphylaxis, throat swelling, blood pressure collapse, and in severe cases, death within minutes of exposure. A consumer who bought Lactaid specifically to manage one food sensitivity wasn't checking the carton for a second, unlisted allergen. That's the breach. Tastes noticeably sweeter than regular milk. The lactase enzyme breaks lactose into simpler sugars that register as sweetness. Not harmful, Just a reminder, you're drinking a processed product. At $6.99 plus per half gallon, the price is already a premium. The 27-state recall is a premium no one signed up for. HP Hood owns both Lactaid and Berkeley Farms. Two brands, two separate recalls. Remember that. The next brand doesn't have an allergen problem. It has a body count. Number 7. Raw Farm, Raw Milk, ***. If you're finding this useful, hit like and subscribe right now. We do this every single week. Specific brands, real sources, no filler. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Back to it. Raw Farm is the largest raw milk dairy in the United States, producing roughly 70,000 gallons per week out of Crescent City, California. Its following is devoted. Raw milk advocates argue that unpasteurized dairy retains enzymes and beneficial bacteria that pasteurization destroys. Clean, natural, unprocessed. That's the identity. Here's what that identity has actually delivered. Between October 2023 and March 2024, a Salmonella typhimurium outbreak linked directly to Raw Farm products resulted in 171 documented cases, at least 22 hospitalizations, and a statewide recall. An estimated 70% of victims were children and adolescents. Then in November 2024, the H5N1 bird flu virus was detected in Raw Farm products by the California Department of Food and Agriculture. Raw Farm placed operations under quarantine and recalled the affected lots. That is 2 major public health events at the same facility in under 14 months. The mechanism is not complicated. Pasteurization exists to kill Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria, and Campylobacter. Raw milk retains all of them. The CDC, FDA, and American Academy of Pediatrics all formally recommend against raw milk consumption, especially for children. At $8 to $12 per half gallon, you're paying a luxury price for a product that put 22 people in a hospital. The next brand is the opposite of raw and unprocessed. It's ultra-filtered, Coca-Cola backed, and settled a lawsuit for $21 million. Number 6. Fairlife. Fairlife is a masterpiece of food branding. Ultra-filtered milk with 13 grams of protein per cup, 50% more than standard whole milk, 50% less sugar. Lactose-free, sleek black bottle, premium price. Fully acquired by Coca-Cola in 2020, which tells you everything about the corporate strategy behind the wellness aesthetic. Here's the problem. In 2019, undercover video taken at Fair Oaks Farms, a primary Fairlife supplier in Indiana, documented workers physically abusing calves, kicking, punching, leaving animals in extreme heat without water. 3 workers were arrested. Multiple class action lawsuits followed. Coca-Cola and other parties agreed to pay $21 million to settle claims of false advertising. Specifically that Fairlife's marketing promised humane animal treatment that the supply chain wasn't delivering. No admission of wrongdoing. Then in 2023, the Animal Recovery Mission alleged abuse was continuing at new Fairlife supplying dairies in Indiana, after Fairlife publicly stated its supply chain had been reformed. Worth noting, Coca-Cola cited Nielsen data showing Fairlife grew nearly 30% year over year despite the scandal. The settlement didn't dent the sales. That's the power of a good bottle design. The milk itself is thick and slightly synthetic in texture. Ultrafiltration concentrates protein and strips natural vitamins, which are added back artificially. You're getting an engineered product, not a natural one. At $6 to $8 per 52-ounce bottle, premium price, documented paper trail. The next brand doesn't have one lawsuit. It has a federal violation count of 14. Number 5. Aurora Organic Dairy Store Brands. Kroger's Simple Truth, Target Good and Gather, Publix Greenwise. These are 3 of the most prominent private label organic milks in the country, and the problem is identical across all 3. When you buy Kroger's Simple Truth Organic, Target Good and Gather Organic, or Publix Greenwise Organic, the carton doesn't tell you where the milk came from. No farm name, no cooperative, no origin state, just the USDA organic seal and a $2 markup over the conventional version next to it. Cornucopia's national survey exposes industrial-scale producers that threaten to take over organic dairying. And private label organic is the most vulnerable category because retailer brands often source from industrial-scale suppliers like Aurora Organic Dairy, which we cover at number 9 with its 14-count federal violation record. Aurora's milk flows into private label cartons. Those cartons carry your retailer's name, not Aurora's. The USDA Organic Seal guarantees no synthetic pesticides or hormones. It does not guarantee meaningful pasture access, animal welfare, or anything resembling what the word organic implies to a reasonable shopper. Without a named source on the label, you're paying a premium on pure faith. Taste, indistinguishable from conventional in any blind pour. Thin, clean, completely anonymous. At $6 to $8 per gallon, you're paying for a certification that may be doing significantly less work than you think it is. The next brand doesn't hide behind a store logo. It just hides behind a century of brand equity and a kid's chocolate milk loaded with added sugar. Number 4. Dean Foods/DFA brands. TruMoo, Altadena, Country Fresh. Dean Foods was the largest conventional milk processor in the United States before filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2019. Dairy Farmers of America acquired most of its assets in 2020. TruMoo, Altadena, Country Fresh, and Berkeley Farms still exist under the DFA umbrella, still on shelves near you right now. The Cornucopia Institute applies its zero-cow pour rating to brands not transparent about milk source, antibiotic use, or farming practices, and Altadena, one of Dean Foods' flagship brands, carries that 0 rating. That's the lowest possible score on the category's most rigorous independent audit. Now look at TruMoo Chocolate Whole Milk, the brand's most visible product, marketed heavily to children. Per cup, 24 grams of total sugar, including 12 grams of added sugars. The American Heart Association recommends children ages 2 to 18 consume no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day total. 1 cup of TruMoo gets your child nearly halfway there. 2 cups, perfectly normal for an active kid, blows past the daily ceiling from a single drink marketed as nutritious dairy. The mechanism, repeated daily added sugar spikes at this level, are directly associated in the long-term data with pediatric insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. Tastes like a budget hot cocoa packet dissolved in skim milk. Because effectively, that's what it is. At $3.99 per half gallon, it's the cheapest thing on this bad list. The downstream metabolic cost isn't calculated on the label. The worst offender of all combines fake organic certification, industrial sourcing, a federal recall, and the most misleading packaging in the entire category. Number 3. Berkeley Farms ***. Berkeley Farms has been a Northern California dairy institution since 1910. Over a century of operation. Regional brand loyalty so strong the carton features cartoonish cows and a playful tone. 0 indication of what regulators found. In June 2002, Berkeley Farms conducted a massive statewide recall after penicillin residues were detected in their milk and cream products during routine testing by the California Department of Food and Agriculture. Antibiotic drugs used to treat cow infections are required to be cleared from an animal's system before its milk enters commercial supply. Berkeley Farms failed that standard at scale, across multiple products in a statewide poll. The mechanism. For the estimated 10% of the U.S. population with penicillin allergies, even trace exposure can trigger a severe immune response. Beyond individual allergy risk, chronic low-level antibiotic exposure through food is a documented contributing factor to antibiotic-resistant bacteria, listed by the FDA, WHO, and CDC as one of the most serious public health threats facing the modern world. Berkeley Farms is now owned by H.P. Hood, the same H.P. Hood behind Lactaid's 27-state almond allergen recall. 2 brands under 1 parent. 2 separate recalls. 1 clear operational pattern. At $5 to $6 per gallon in California, you're buying a century of nostalgia and a contamination record regulators documented and the brand quietly moved past. At least Berkeley Farms doesn't pretend to be organic. Number 2 on this list built a global business on exactly that pretense. Number 2. Silk, plant-based milk Danone. Silk is the brand that made plant-based milk mainstream. Founded in 1977, now owned by Danone. Yes, the same Danone that previously owned Horizon Organic, our number 10 offender. 2 brands, 1 corporate parent, 1 consistent pattern of prioritizing shelf presence over product integrity. Silk dominates non-dairy, almond, oat, soy, cashew, coconut in every major retailer, aggressively wellness-coded, sustainability-branded, and positioned as the clean choice for consumers stepping away from dairy. In 2024, Listeria monocytogenes contamination was linked to both Silk and great value plant-based milks distributed in Canada, triggering a recall of 18 separate products: almond, oat, cashew, and coconut varieties for both brands. The contamination was connected to 3 deaths, 15 hospitalizations, and 20 documented illnesses across 6 provinces. 3 deaths from oat milk, from a wellness brand. The mechanism: Listeria monocytogenes crosses the blood-brain barrier and can cause bacterial meningitis. It crosses the placental barrier and can cause miscarriage. The populations most at risk: pregnant women, newborns, the elderly, immunocompromised individuals, are precisely the population Silk's wellness marketing targets. Look at the nutrition label. Silk oat and almond milks deliver 1 to 4 grams of protein per cup against whole dairy's 8 grams. The rest of that carton is largely water, canola oil, and thickening gums. You're paying $5 to $6 per half gallon for that. Same parent company as zero-rated Horizon. Same result. The single worst offender on this list has been selling you fake organic milk at industrial scale for decades, and just got recalled while doing it. Number 1. Horizon Organic, full verdict. We touched on Horizon at number 10. It earns the top spot because no brand in American dairy has pulled off a more comprehensive long-term deception at greater scale. Horizon Organic is the number 1 best-selling organic milk brand in the United States. It sits at eye level in the organic aisle at every major grocery chain in the country. Pediatricians recommend it. Health-conscious parents choose it specifically. The green label, the grazing cow, the word organic in the brand name itself. Everything about this packaging says, you made the right call. The Cornucopia Institute, which formally rated over 160 dairy brands for authenticity, gave Horizon a 0 rating. 0 cows, the lowest possible score. Horizon sources from industrial-scale desert Southwest operations where USDA Organic's 30% pasture requirement cannot plausibly be met. Cornucopia's national survey calls out Horizon explicitly as an industrial-scale producer that threatens to take over authentic organic dairying and drives out family operations that are actually doing it right. In January 2025, Horizon recalled almost 20,000 cases of its organic plain whole milk for premature spoilage, a Class 2 FDA recall distributed across Arizona, California, and Nevada. Nearly 20,000 cases recalled by the brand charging you a premium specifically because you believe it's produced with higher care and higher standards. The nutritional mechanism. Peer-reviewed research shows that authentic pasture-raised organic dairy contains 147% more omega-3s and 125% more CLA than conventional whole milk. The American standard diet is already heavily omega-6 dominant. Buying real grass-fed organic dairy is a direct, measurable correction to that imbalance. Buying Horizon, sourced from factory-scale confinement operations, doesn't move that number at all. You're paying $7 to $8 per half gallon for the most successful organic label fraud in American dairy history. The carton shows a green field. There is no green field. Enough with the false promises, the factory farm cover-ups, and the allergen recalls. Here are 8 milk brands that have actually earned their label. Certified legitimately, sourced correctly, and built by people who understand that the packaging and the product need to match. Let's start now with the good list. Number 8. Stonyfield Organic. Stonyfield was founded in 1983 as a farming school project in New Hampshire by Samuel Kamen and Gary Hirschberg. It has held USDA organic certification since its earliest days and has spent 4 decades publicly fighting against the loosening of organic standards when industry pressure pushed for it. That track record matters in a category where organic has been systematically diluted. Certifications. USDA Certified Organic, Non-GMO. Ingredient list, organic whole milk. 1 ingredient. No added vitamins synthesized back in after processing. No gums, no additives. Per cup, 8 grams of protein, 11 grams of naturally occurring sugar, 0 added sugar, 300 milligrams of calcium. The elevated omega-3 and CLA profile of certified organic sourcing, without the industrial dairy sourcing questions attached to Horizon at the same price point. Smooth, clean, and noticeably richer than any conventional milk you've been buying. Not the creamiest on this good list, but a verified, legitimate step up from everything on the bad side. Number 7. Kelowna Supernatural. Kelowna Supernatural is a certified organic brand out of Kelowna, Iowa, Amish country. It works exclusively with Amish and Mennonite family farms. Multi-generational operations farming under traditional low-input practices long before USDA certification existed to recognize them. Certifications. USDA Certified Organic, Non-GMO. And 2 things that most brands on this good list don't offer. The milk is non-homogenized. Cream rises naturally to the top. And vat pasteurized. Low temperature. Slow process pasteurization that preserves significantly more enzymes and flavor compounds than the ultra-high temperature processing used by Horizon and similar industrial brands. Per cup, 8 grams of protein, 12 grams of naturally occurring sugar, 0 added sugar. Shake the bottle. Watch the cream redistribute. That's what real dairy does. Thick, rich, and lightly sweet. The cream top makes a detectable difference in mouthfeel from the first sip. Nothing artificial. Nothing manufactured. Number 6. Organic Valley Grassmilk. Organic Valley was founded in 1988 as a farmer-owned cooperative in Lafarge, Wisconsin, and remains one today. Over 1,800 family farm members. No private equity board. No Danone executive making margin decisions that quietly loosen pasture standards. The farmers who own this brand are the farmers who graze on it. The Grassmilk line, their 100% grass-fed, grain-free whole milk, is verified through Organic Plus Trust Certified Organic Grass-Fed Livestock Program, a third-party certification tracking integrity from farm to carton. Average herd size, 75 cows. Compare that to the 15,000 head desert operations behind zero-rated Horizon. The numbers are documented in peer-reviewed science. Organic Valley Grassmilk contains 147% more omega-3s than conventional whole milk and 52% more than standard organic milk. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 1:1, compared to the 16:1 ratio dominating the average American diet. That's a directly measurable nutritional benefit, not a marketing claim. Per cup, 8 grams of protein, 0 added sugar. Creamy, smooth, and noticeably richer than conventional or standard organic milk. You can taste the difference the grass makes. Number 5. Strauss Family Creamery. Strauss Family Creamery earned a specific historical distinction in 1994. It became the first certified organic dairy west of the Mississippi River. Albert Strauss converted the family farm specifically to save it from the economic forces eliminating small California dairies. It is still operating, still family-owned, still in Marshall, California. Certifications. USDA Certified Organic, consistently rated among the highest-tier authentic brands by the Cornucopia Institute's Dairy Scorecard. 2 important production distinctions. The milk is vat pasteurized in small batches, preserving more enzymes and flavor than ultra-pasteurization. It comes in reusable glass bottles with a deposit. Milk stored in glass retains flavor better than milk in cardboard or plastic. That's food chemistry, not branding. Per cup, 8 grams of protein, 0 added sugar, 300 milligrams of calcium, and the elevated omega-3 and CLA profile of authentic pasture-raised organic dairy. Clean, lightly sweet from natural lactose. and noticeably creamier than anything in the bad half of this video. The glass bottle is a ritual. Return it, get your deposit back, pick up the next one. Number 4. Maple Hill Creamery. Maple Hill was founded in 2003 by Tim Joseph on a farm in Stuyvesant, New York. Joseph converted from conventional to 100% grass-fed organic because the economics of commodity dairy were making survival as a small farm impossible. The model worked. The farm is still there. The milk is still 100% grass-fed. The ingredient statement is the cleanest possible, organic whole milk. One ingredient: no synthetic vitamins added back post-processing. No thickeners, no gums. USDA certified organic, PCO certified, kosher, and no antibiotics, hormones, GMOs, or additives of any kind. The science. Findings published in the Journal of Food Science and Nutrition showed grass-fed milk contains significantly more total omega-3 fatty acids, conjugated linoleic acid, and long-chain omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids than conventional dairy. Because of high per capita dairy consumption relative to other omega-3 sources, that difference in grass-fed milk can help restore a historical fatty acid balance and may reduce cardiovascular and metabolic disease risk. Per cup, 8 grams of protein, 0 added sugar, a well-balanced omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, and CLA levels exceeding both conventional and standard organic milk. Ultra creamy, lightly buttery, clean from front to back. This is what milk tastes like when the cow eats exclusively what cows evolved to eat. Number 3. Clover Sonoma. Clover Sonoma has been farming in Sonoma County, California since 1916, 109 years. The brand sources exclusively from family farms within a geographically defined radius of its creamery. The provenance is named, real, and verifiable, the direct opposite of the anonymous private label sourcing that dominated the bad half of this video. Third-party verification stack. American Humane Certified for Animal Welfare, Non-GMO Project Verified, and CCUF Certified Organic, one of the most rigorous organic certifiers in the country. 3 independent bodies have reviewed this brand's production and signed off. For comparison, Horizon has 0 independent verification bodies willing to give it more than 0 cows. Most retail formats are not ultra-pasteurized, meaningful for enzyme preservation and flavor integrity compared to mass-market organic brands that blast their milk to extend shelf life. Per cup, 8 grams of protein, 0 added sugar, 300 milligrams of calcium. Clean label, regional sourcing, multiple independent certifications. Creamy and lightly sweet, slightly lighter body than Maple Hill or Kelowna, which makes it exceptional in coffee without competing with the flavor. It complements food. Most commodity milk just dilutes it. Number 2. Origin Milk. Origin was launched in 2015 by Cleveland-based Adrian Boda. Not a corporate play, not a private equity acquisition. A single founder who looked at what industrial dairy had done to the American milk supply and decided to build the exact opposite from scratch. Origin is the only dairy collaborative in the country to be fully regenerative organic certified, the highest and most stringent food certification in the world, and has built its entire portfolio around 4 simultaneous standards: ROC, USDA Organic 100% grass-fed, and A2 Heritage. No other national dairy brand runs that full stack at once. Nutrition per cup. Naturally superior with 3x omega-3s. 5% milk fat, 15% more protein, 12% more calcium, and 35% more vitamins A and D compared to standard commodity whole milk. That's the breed difference, not a marketing claim. Origin low-heat vat pasteurizes to preserve flavor and nutrients and never homogenizes. So you get a beautiful cream top, exactly as full-fat milk should have. Rich, golden-hued, and deeply creamy on the palate. Consumers describe it as what milk used to taste like before industrial processing erased all the character. Available at Whole Foods, Mom's Organic Market, and select specialty retailers. If you've been paying the Horizon Premium thinking you were doing right by your family, Origin is the correction. Number 1. The A2 Milk Company. The A2 Milk Company is the most accessible, most widely distributed, most scientifically substantiated A2 dairy brand in the United States. And right now, the North American A2 milk market is valued at $752.95 million and is projected to reach $3.2 billion by 2033, growing at a CAGR of 17.5%. That growth isn't happening because of bottle design. It's happening because the science is real and people are feeling the difference. Here's the mechanism, because it's worth understanding precisely. The A1 and A2 proteins differ by a single amino acid, and some studies have suggested that A1 beta-casein may be more difficult to digest for some people and may lead to digestive discomfort. It has been demonstrated that A1 beta-casein milk causes the body to emit more BCM7, which has been linked to a number of stomach-related issues. Most conventional milk, every brand in the bad half of this video, comes from Holstein cows producing both A1 and A2 proteins. A2 milk removes A1 entirely. A2 milk has no hormones or antibiotics and is a rich source of calcium as well as other necessary vitamins and minerals. The same RBGH we flagged at number 12 on the bad list is not used here. Per cup, 8 grams of protein, 0 added sugar, 1 ingredient. Creamy, clean, and noticeably smooth. People who've avoided dairy for years because of digestive discomfort routinely report they can drink A2 milk without issue. That's the BCM7 difference you can actually feel. Available at Whole Foods, Target, Walmart, Kroger, and Costco nationally, around $5.49 to $6.99 per half gallon. The U.S. market is driven by growing distribution, increasing lactose intolerance concerns, and health-focused consumption patterns. And A2 Milk is the brand that made the category mainstream. That's 12 milk brands that belong back on the shelf, and 8 that have actually earned the space in your fridge. If this video made you look twice at a carton you've been buying on autopilot, that's the whole point. Hit subscribe right now. Every week we go brand by brand, category by category, with real sources and zero filler. The FDA recall records, cornucopia scorecards, and court documents referenced in this video are all linked in the description. Go check them yourself.